Camp opens up on August 1st. For the first time in a while, BYU legend Ty Detmer will not be coaching after being relieved from his duties as offensive coordinator for the Cougars after last season.
Yeah, I caught up with Ty recently while he was coaching at the quarterback elite camp. We talked about his dismissal from BYU and his plans for the future.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the job, you know. I mean, that's what you sign up for when you become a coach, the scrutiny and all those things. But, you know, I'm glad I did it, and I've no regrets coming up and being a part of it. Disappointed, you know, as I said before, is just not getting a chance to kind of fix things and you know, correct the ship. I've never been a person that just, you know, dwells on the past. I mean, in life you have things that happen that you're not going to be happy about, and it's what you do after that. And so for me, it's okay, you know, that's chapter's over, what's next, and go from there.
Why didn't things work out in your mind?
I don't know. I look back, there's some things I would have done differently and maybe fought for to do differently and those kind of things. But it was really, you know, we were a young team, perfect storm, tough schedule, and then the injuries kicked in and make the, you know, the winnable games at the end a dogfight. And so it was one of those years that I tell people all the time, my senior year, had we had the schedule that we had last year, we started out 0-3, and had we had 3 more Power 5 teams on the schedule, we would have been 0-6, you know. So it's just one of those years that we had to go through, and unfortunately, like I said, didn't get a chance to correct it and see the young guys now have experience and progress.
You wish you would have had that other year. Do you feel like you were treated fairly, or you were given enough of an opportunity and a chance to prove yourself?
Yeah, I mean, that's not for me to decide. I mean, you know, a head coach has to do what he feels is best for the program, and so those sometimes aren't easy decisions and not maybe what you want to do, but if you're the head guy, sometimes you have to make tough decisions. So sure, I'd have loved to have had another opportunity and those things, but you know, I don't make those decisions. It's kind of like being a starting quarterback in the NFL. Sometimes you get benched and you don't make those decisions for whatever reason. You know, coach feels like he's got to make a change, and so I've been through those and had those lessons before, and this is just along those same lines.
Everyone's worried, has this affected the way you think about BYU? Do you have any negative feelings towards BYU?
I'm a Cougar for life, you know. I mean, that's great things happen for me at BYU, and so that doesn't change. I mean, I still love BYU. You know, it'll take a little time probably to be around the program a little bit, you know, just to kind of let things settle and keep your distance, you know. I mean, let those guys do what they need to do and not be that guy that all of a sudden you're around and being, you know, on TV, being the know-it-all, that, you know, those kind of things. So, you know, I would just kind of hang back and let things settle, and then, you know, we'll still always be BYU fans and a part of the program.
You were a part of BYU during the glory years, and now you were a part of BYU nowadays. I don't think anyone would have a better perspective on what BYU needs to do to get back to being the power that they were before, a top 25 program. In your mind, what has to happen at BYU to get back to that?
Obviously, it's different with being independent, and it's a different schedule, it's a different time. So from the outside looking in, you know, coming in, you think independence can work, and it's great, and you're playing all these great teams and going all over the country, but as a coach, it's way different, trying to prepare that and trying to recruit towards that without having the conference backing and some of the money that the Power 5 conferences bring in for recruiting expenses and all those things, staffing expenses. You know, there's a lot that goes into trying to build a program and build it to compete with guys that have those resources. And so it's different now, and to be a top 25, BYU's gonna have ups and downs. You know, you're gonna have that senior class like we had with Taysom and Jamal and, you know, Kai Nakua and these guys that were leaders and Harvey Longy and just took the team on their back, and then you lose those guys and it's that rebuilding year is kind of what we went through last year. And so it'll get back to where you got a chance to win 10, 11 games at some point, but you're going to have those cyclical times that just have to run their course sometimes with losing a heavy senior group. It's going to be, every year is going to be different, and the scheduling's tough on Tom, I'm sure, and you want to get the right teams in the right places, but those don't always work in your favor when you're having to go and kind of give up a little bit to get those things.
Well, BYU has a quarterback decision to make this fall, and I want to ask you this because you worked with these guys, most of the guys, not all the guys, but most of them. Do you feel they have someone in the group that they have that can get them where they need to go?
That's the, I think, debate is waiting to see how Tanner, if he's really fully 100%, and can he, get involved in training camp, which I think he is and can, and, where's Bo with his injuries and some of those things, and then Joe Critchlow, played well the end of the year. They're all great young men. That's first and foremost. They're great young men. They work at it, and they're as disappointed as anybody on how things went. So I hope somebody emerges and is the clear-cut winner, because, they say when you have a bunch of quarterbacks, that means you really don't have one. And so hopefully one of those guys just really steps up, has a great fall camp, and can lead the team into the season.
All right, moving forward, what's next for Ty?
Me, we've moved to Gilbert, Arizona, so we're down in the Phoenix area. We've never lived by my wife's family, so we thought, this would be a good year to get my youngest daughter. She'll be a senior. She can go to school with cousins, live around my wife's family for the first time, and then we've got a bunch of booked hunts at the ranch, and drew an archery elk tag here on the Wasatch, and so I'm planning on kind of enjoying some of those things that you haven't had a chance to the last couple years, and may not be able to going forward if end up coaching again the following year. So my oldest is going to have a grandbaby, so I'll be a grandpa in November.
Congratulations.
And, so a lot of changes have come on board, but overall, we're just going to take this year, enjoy it with the family, and spend a little time at the ranch, and then see what happens after the new year.
You just blew my mind. Ty Detmer's going to be a grandpa.
I know.
We're all getting old.
How about that?
Boy, my goodness.
I told her she had to wait till 50, and she barely made it. So I'm 50, but
oh, good.
I just don't feel like a grandpa. But
I'm sure once you get to that point, you never really do.
That's right.
Do you want to coach again? What are your plans coaching?
Yeah, I've probably know more people in the NFL circles, and so probably go visit a couple camps in 1st of August, and just let them know I'm serious about doing it, and get your foot in the door somewhere. And but that's kind of the plan. I really enjoyed the coaching side, the scheming, the game planning, the coaching, the guys with talent, and a little higher level than high school. I loved high school because you see these 14-year-olds come in and leave as 18-year-old young men. So it may be high school, maybe college, maybe pros. I don't know, but I've definitely enjoyed the coaching side the last 7-8 years, and look forward to probably continuing that.
So he still got the itch, and my feeling is it's going to be in the NFL. He has a lot of connections. It makes the most sense for him and for what he has to bring
scheming
to the
and game
table.
planning, that type of thing, that's what he's best at, and he will have the players that he can scheme around instead of having somebody else's players that he has to deal with.
Yeah.
But Ty is a very positive guy there, because sometimes you say, what, they did that to me, I'm kind of ticked off at him.
He could be bitter.
I have never heard or talked to Ty when he's been bitter about anything.
No.
Nothing. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
He's handled the situation with complete class. A lot of other guys probably would have been. If you're a hero at a university like that, and they don't give you the benefit of the doubt like that, you'd have a reason to be bitter. Yeah. Not one inch of bitterness in him.
Ty's
Zero.
always handled everything with class
Right.
since we first met him back in the late 80s. So.
No different with the situation.